Over the years, I've definitely written a lot and spoken a lot and tried to help people share stories in the space about suicide awareness and suicide prevention, because I think that personal stories is how we make impact and change. But the issue, or the time that got me started talking about this issue was actually my own attempt, which was in 2013. So now about 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago. And I went through a period of years where I had really acute depression for the first time in my life, really. So it was a lot to navigate and understand. And, I think about it as a lot of stress and difficulty going on both simultaneously in my work life and my personal life. And I think of it as just exceeding some threshold that I never had, with the depression. And so, I had an attempt in 2013. Luckily, my parents were coming to visit at around that time, and basically I saw them driving up and they intervened. But I did go to a local hospital, and I was admitted there for a week. It was not a fun time. Once I was there, I had a lot of thoughts of, oh my God, I'm at the bottom, and why am I here? Why am I in this place? And it was a very hard place because there are people going through a lot of really tough stuff. But after I got out, I wrote about depression, and I wrote about suicide kind of for the first time ever, and eventually published that piece with the Good Men Project, first anonymously, and then over time not anonymously, and now obviously very not anonymously, since I'm here talking to you about it. So the impact, I think, on myself was really just becoming aware of this issue and understanding so much more about it. Like I said, I didn't even really understand that depression was the thing. I didn't really understand what it felt like, when your brain is in that state. And I think also, of course, didn't understand what it's like to have a suicidal thought. I didn't connect to it because it wasn't my experience. But now I do. I understand what it feels like to be in that place where your brain is telling you that it's bad and that nothing good can happen, and your brain is lying to you. I think a lot of people who don't understand it think it's, well, why would someone do that or think that, and think, like, isn't it selfish? I think the best piece that I've read about it that I think really explains it, having been through it, is was written by the author David Foster Wallace, who actually had depression himself, and despite his self-awareness, still died by suicide eventually. But he wrote, it's like being in a burning building, and the flames are coming, and you jump, and it has to feel so bad to get to that point, to jump. It's not because you're selfish, it's because the alternative seems so painful, and it seems like choosing the lesser of the pains. Kind of getting to those moments, although I don't wish it upon anyone, is really just kind of part of the human condition. It's part of the whole ride, right? Where sometimes life is beautiful and connected and wonderful, and sometimes it's really hard. Things happen, difficulties in relationships, difficulty at work, all those things intervening and intersecting at the same time. And I know that our brain, for all how wonderful it is in terms of helping us and framing things, can also get to points where we frame things in a negative way. Now I can look back and say, with some experience, and even with experience, it's hard, but I can say, okay, I felt that way once, but I still got out of it. Like, I'm here. So what I'm feeling right now, it's not true. I try to really push back against the narrative that it's selfish or weak. I just think it's part of being a human being, and we kind of all have to learn to navigate it, whether for ourselves or for others around us. I can safely say that if I hadn't had an incredibly in your face, involved, loving, and supportive family, I don't think I would be here. And I'm really glad I'm here. And I think it's hard in terms of impact. It's hard on family. It's hard to take care of someone, to be there for someone whose brain is telling them to isolate and to push back, and that nothing's ever gonna get better. It's very, very hard. It takes a lot of strength, I think, for families and friends and anyone who's supporting someone going through it. I think it's hard, but I think the best advice I can give is just to be there, to be consistent. I think people are sometimes afraid of what to say or what to do. But in terms of taking care of folks and being supportive of someone that's going through it, I think what my family did was show up every day, every single day. And I know that I wasn't fun to be around. And they showed up every day. And it wasn't like put a smile on your face and be happy. It was just show up every day and like, let's take a walk and let's get through this. And I think that's kind of the most important thing that my support network did.